It's another
Hey,
beautiful day in the neighborhood. How you doing, Tor?
I'm doing good, Mark. How about yourself?
Good. I just made another post, about ready to go live with it. I
Okay.
think for me, I love those posts in the moment. I'm remembering this movie. I don't even know if it's a good movie or not, but I think it's from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And Wayne's World, and the guy said this.
We will put on a concert. Oh, yes. We will put on a concert.
Of course, he had this crazy dream with Jim Morrison, and Jim, of course, told him that if he books the concert, the people will come.
Kind of Field of Dreams.
If you book it, they'll come.
Yep. If you build it, we did that.
Will it happen, and does it happen? And no, it doesn't happen all the time. And so today we're going to talk about kind of extinguishing that myth and replacing it with some action. Okay, I'm Mark Mohr with Christafari. If you don't know that, you got a problem, and we've got a problem in promotion. I'm with Torie Hoopii.
What's
Torie, you
up?
joined us right about when we started recording this one.
Yes.
And this one hit #1 on Billboard. This one,
Yep.
#1 Billboard, #1 Billboard, so on and so forth. #1 Billboard. We did a lot of #1 Billboards.
We
We've
did.
done a few albums over the last few years since Torie has joined us. Another #1, and it's all about making Jesus #1.
Amen.
But here's the thing: how do you do that if you don't have an audience? Oh, she's got it right there.
My favorite.
How do you reach those people that you feel called to reach if you don't have an audience? And I guess you have to build it. So today we're going to talk about three things: how to promote a song, how to promote an album, how to promote a concert. And we use basically the same tools for all of them, would you say?
Yes.
Okay. Torie, since you're the manager,
Yeah.
would you please send me the notes for today's class? I sent them over to you last night. Did
Yeah.
you send them back to me? Okay. Would you
Yeah.
okay.
Sure.
Would
And
you
WhatsApp?
WhatsApp them to me? Yeah, please. Just so that I send them
Sure.
over to her. I asked her to edit. I'm not sure if she sent them to me. I typically wake up to about 200 some odd messages. I'm a fireman, and I'm basically trying to figure out which building to put out first, which fire to put out first. Okay, so Justin just recorded a version of The Blessing, right? And it's a reggae version of it, and we're going to continue to build on it. In the next few days, weeks, months, we will release it. How will
Blessing. Yay.
Yeah, finally doing it. How will we release it? What will we do? And I'm going to get to some of these things in the production class, taking a song from concept to completion to getting it up on DistroKid. So speaking of DistroKid, I'm just going to
Yes.
pull up DistroKid really quick.
Sure.
Torie, you sent those to me, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Done.
Okay. How do you want to start, Torie? What do you want to say here?
You want to start with DistroKid?
Yeah, let's talk about DistroKid.
Okay.
I'm signing on right now.
DistroKid, we just recently transferred over from TuneCore to DistroKid.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm going to screen share here. And the reason why we did that was because we're typically paying $60 to $70 a year per album on a different competitor like TuneCore. And with DistroKid, you pay one flat fee per year, as many albums as you want. We release a lot of albums. So
Yes.
here we go. Okay. So this is my page for DistroKid right here. And I'm going to zoom in so that you can see. Hopefully it will work. Nope, there it is. Okay. And yeah, so we have the new Avion Blackman one. We were able to release all these albums or singles with just basically no extra costs. There are certain things that I do like when you add an album. Like, let's say, let me see if I can't just upload and pretend like I'm going to do an album. Okay, so you get to choose the stores. I always do all. You can do a single, you can do an album. And is it previously released or not?
Right.
The band name, all basic stuff. And the release date, in this case, Avian's album is the 26th of this month. And
Yes.
so we're going to make it available in stores in advance for those who want to pre-order. But let's face it, nobody really pre-orders anymore, do they? I mean,
Right.
iTunes is over.
Yeah.
iTunes has now been replaced by Apple Music.
Yes.
Okay, so you add the image there, real simple stuff, basic stuff, and select the genre. You do this. Now this is something that I love. You can click another artist wrote it, and you just have to state the original artist name, the original artist's title, and then they'll secure the license for you, and you won't have to pay the artist royalties. The royalties will come out of your royalties only as you sell them, and you will be legally clear, which is great. We'll do that for the blessing. Of course, you won't have explicit lyrics. And then another thing that I love about this is that you can choose to do YouTube money or Instagram, Facebook, store maximizer. This means whenever a store is added, it will immediately add all the new stores. That does cost a little bit more. Shazam. Hey, Siri, what song is this? She just...
Listening.
That'd be funny. Sorry, I won't call her that name right now. And then another thing I love is this one. Leave a legacy. They won't delete your singles from stores due to lapsed membership, or even if you die or whatever, you know what I mean? The royalties keep coming on. And so that's how simple you can set it up. So we use DistroKid. We're not supported by them. They don't even know we're talking about them right now. But in this case, for like Avian Blackman's Fly, this is the album cover. If I click on it, let's see if I get the whole album cover. There it is. Christafari presents. I'll make it smaller so you guys can see it there. Avian Blackman Fly. So we had to obviously come up with art. And this is what I'm going to do next. We're just going to do it as we talk. And I'll pull it up. Let me see. What is it? Art. What is the art thread that we have? Arts and Marketing Christafari.
Yes.
Hey, Jabby, I'm in a class right now talking about you. So grateful for all the artwork you do for us. Hey, I'm looking at the album cover for Avian Blackman's Fly. I want to see if you can please create a banner for our website, Christafari.com. And if you could create a Facebook banner as well. And some sort of square promo banner for the album. And if you could make the banner through basically say all, well, how do we want to word this, Tori?
You
Donate today at Christafari.com and receive a free copy of Avian Blackman's, a free pre-release of digital pre-release of Avian Blackman's album. And then we need a second banner for all of the above that I just stated that say available now on all platforms. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that, Tori? Is that good?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
That's how we do it. And then in a day or two, I'll have that art back. So that's one thing that we do to promote. And another thing that we do is there is some sort of link. Let me see if I can't find that link. One thing that I do love also is that I can add lyrics. Once the album goes live, you can add lyrics to it. And that's great as well. I'm gonna have to go back to music and maybe click on a different one. This is Moment to Pray. Let's see if we have a link for that. But they typically give us some sort of link. If you have that link ready,
Yeah.
Tori, I'm gonna hand over to you. Do you have one? Yeah, why don't we hand it over to you and you pull up the link that I forwarded you the other day for pre-order stuff.
Okay.
Because pre-order is going to be great as well. I'm gonna stop screen sharing. And back to you.
Okay. Here we go.
So yeah, one thing I do also like is that even though it's not out yet, they'll turn around and say, "Hey, here's the link for it and everything." As Tori's pulling that up, I will say this: promoting is the necessary evil, but please don't see it as an evil. See, it's it's a good because it gets out a good message. It gets out a good album, a good song, a good video, a good whatever. Imagine this. My mom's a painter. We have her paintings all around the house. And imagine if, I mean, in the past, of course, even recently, she's won all kinds of awards. She has a whole wall full of ribbons and stuff. She's sold so many paintings. But imagine if she never took those paintings out of this house. What good would it be if they were locked in the basement and never saw the light of day? Well, that's why promoting an album is so crucial. Okay, you have the link here. So once
Yes.
you upload something to DistroKid, it'll say, here's the link, please share it. And it's a pre-save thing. In this case, it's available June 26th, pre-save and follow. And that's something that we definitely want people to be doing, is to be following you however they do. In this case, our primary goal is Spotify, to build up that follower base on Spotify, because, well, if they are truly following us when the new album comes out, people will see. Right now we currently have 56,000 monthly listeners, and the goal is to keep that going. And as you can see by ours, those top songs are all
There you go.
it's out of focus. Those top
No,
songs
I have
are
it on the
all-
screen, Mark.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
just
you got it.
Spotify page.
Yeah, Hosanna, Oceans, How Great Is Our God, 10,000 Reasons, Revelation song. I wish that our original songs had that much response, but let's face it, when you're dealing with artists like Hillsong and others, when you do a cover, it's going to go a lot further, a lot faster. So it kind of grows wings. When we released Waymaker, the video before, the video after are maybe in the 20, 30,000 views, and that one's at 1.5 million, and it's just been a few months. So another thing we like to do is do a little promo pick. Can you show them how to do the Spotify artist pick thing? Is that
Okay.
it right there?
Yep, here it is right here.
Oh, you're a genius.
So it does disappear, so you have to update it every 14 days.
Every 2 weeks, it does disappear. Now, you can only add that pick or that promo if you're a verified artist. Is that correct? Or if you're part of the Spotify for Artists account. Now,
Yes.
let me see what it's called. So if I type in Spotify, it's
I
called
do.
Artists.
Yep.
And it's the blue one right there.
Yep.
It's called Artists by
so-
Spotify. If you can log in and connect your Spotify account with that app, you can then choose to feature, like, let's say we were at a battle. Go take them over to Avion's Spotify page. We were in a battle as to how to promote and launch Avion's new album. It's been about 9 years since she's done an original solo album. Less since she's done a greatest hits, but let's just say that her listener base is not actually, let me just see where it stands right now. If I were to type Avion Blackman.
Oh, shucks. It's very tricky. Okay, I gotta log out of this one.
Yeah, I'm on, I think. Sometimes I don't like Spotify.
It's very complicated to get there. Sorry.
Yeah, I type Avion Blackman. She has 4,900 monthly listeners. We have 55,000. And so we wrestled. How do we promote her album and get it to the greatest amount of ears? Well, she's been a member of Christafari for almost 20 years now. Every one of her biggest singles, when you search her name on YouTube, are with Christafari. So why try and extricate? Why try and separate? We decided to fold her solo album into Christafari, which is why the cover says Christafari Presents. The artist name is Christafari. The album title is Avion Blackman Fly. So we're kind of getting a little tricky trying to get her audience and our audience. But we know that if we had to choose between the two, the 55,000 is better to be launching it to than the 5,000. So since it's been such a long time since she's released something, that's a decision that we made. And And we're comfortable with that. We definitely discussed it with a lot of publicists and different people and stuff. And they said, well, if you really want her to be solo and build her own independent career, we're like, Abby's like, definitely not. This may be my last full length studio album. So I think we should get it to the greatest amount of people.
Right.
All right. So let's talk about things that we do to promote. Okay.
Sure.
And our job is not just to get the music out there, as I said, but to reach as many as possible. In our case, to win as many as possible. And so let's say some of the things that we've done, even this week. What are some of the things we did this week to promote Ascend classes?
So of course, social media has a big play in it. I'm just going to share my screen because we have a link fire and a link tree that we put into our Instagram account. And if you're on our social media class, you heard me talk about these. So let's see. Here's our link tree, and I just updated it because I wanted to put Avian Blackman's. This is the link where you can just pre-save her. It takes you right there to the pre-save. So I just did that.
Keep in mind that these
a couple days ago.
when you're trying to do stuff on a platform, like if you're trying to give somebody a link to Spotify or to iTunes or Apple Music, that if you're trying to give one and you copy the link from the US, it may not work in Brazil. So you may want to Google how to do an international link or just focus on your primary audience. Yep. So we have Ascend Masterclasses. We have Lock and Step, which is the latest video.
Yep. And then if you get to the premium account, you can watch the video right in here.
What does it cost for the premium account?
This one here, Linktree, is actually only like $9. It's cheaper than Linkfire.
Annual or monthly?
Monthly.
Okay.
So yeah, it's so worth it. Get it.
I love that. And something else that's crucial in all of this, as you can see, guys, and I want you to be typing up your questions as we go. If you notice behind it, the black and white, that's kind of our theme, our color theme. We try to go for something that is uniform. And even within social media, I've heard people say, oh, find your certain look, your certain this, your certain that, and make sure your whole page looks like that. All your posts are in line with that. And so that's something we've tried to do and if you think back to artists who did that extremely, like extreme to the extreme, should I say, Kiss, Striper, bands who are identified with a certain color or a certain look or a certain visual.
So, yeah, I went with Ascend. It's kind of like ascending in the back. So that was the way I went with that. Yeah. So and it has all of our Spotify or this is for
podcast.
Our podcast. And so this is the Linkfire. Linktree is what I was on, and Linkfire is this. This is only for music platforms. And I also have it for Moment to Pray, but I can't do this until Avion's album is officially released. Okay. So you put in the UPC. First, you have to get the account. This one is like, I think, $20 a month. But see, you can it takes me right here. I can play here a music video straight into the link.
I love that.
But it takes me to all the platforms I can get her album in one click. And I have this on our Instagram profile.
And can I just say that the best way in the world to promote an album is a music video. Yes. That is the best way in the world. And if we look at the numbers of sales, numbers of streams versus numbers of views on YouTube, wow. And if you can't do a music video, do a lyric video. If you can't do a lyric video, put the album up and the individual songs up on YouTube. But you will reach a tenth of the people if you don't have a music video. So at the end of Ascend, we will be holding a survey and invite you guys to participate. And at that point, if you participate in the survey, you'll get links to then watch some of the past classes. So if you missed the ones on how to do social media, on different things, you can learn some of these other tips that we've talked about in the past as well, which will help. And okay.
Can I say one thing about Link? See, this link, this is Linkfire here. You can't do the why I use Linktree as well is because this is strictly for music releases. But the Linktree, I can put like our donate button and other things in it.
I like
That's
the
why
donate button because
yeah.
that's our main thing. We're not trying to make
Yes.
money. We're trying
Mm-hmm.
to raise to go, if
Yep.
anything. So
Yep. And so this
okay,
is,
so yeah, you have
and you can join
merch,
our
you have
email
website.
list.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yep.
that's fantastic. And then at the very bottom, all these little icons are
Mhm.
you know where you can find us,
Yep.
whether it's email, different things. Okay, so that's something that is on if they want to see that and know the name of what we're doing. If they go to our Instagram,
Mhm.
they have to like our Instagram, please. Please, we like you. It was just a little pitch. And so they go there, and
Mhm.
once they do, they click on the link in our bio, correct?
Yes. Link in our bio.
Click on the link in our bio. Okay, so we're at Christafari.com right now.
Mhm.
And I asked our graphic designer if he could do some banners. You see the banners?
Yes.
Go ahead and scroll across from the first one. Yeah, so take us to the first one.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got that one. These are our most recent music videos. We also put these banners up on Facebook.
Mhm.
I realize that most artists probably do one video or two videos a year, but why would we want to stifle ourselves like that?
Yeah. And it's also another way to generate income too as well, you know. And everybody does YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube
YouTube
is great.
is, yeah.
So yeah, these are the things that we are promoting. And then on our page itself, as you can see, these are all videos that came out this year, going all the way back to, yeah, so wow, dang, that's a lot of videos already.
Yeah.
And then, okay, of course, right here in the center is the mail list.
Yes.
Tell us how important that is.
The email list is gold. Yep, because no matter where or what happens to you, I think we did a class. I think it was what was the cost of one email. I mean, what it's worth,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
worth a lot.
yeah, and it's a way to, you know, reach your guests, reach your fans, reach
and
your
obviously
people.
we're not really selling anything, but for an artist that sells something, let's
Mhm.
say that fan, that diehard fan, is going to buy, I don't know, $10 worth of product from you
Yeah.
each year. You add that up, and well, you know, if there's 1,000 people on your email list, and you know that that adds up at the end of it all.
Yes.
And you could definitely be getting quite a bit. Some artists say that 1,000 diehard fans is all it takes if they continue to buy and consume and support. That an independent artist can survive off of that.
Mhm.
Obviously, we're missionaries. We're not trying to do this for the money by any means, but your email. Here's why your email is so crucial. Go ahead and pull up a MailChimp, if you will, and show them what we do. But why your email is so crucial is that we've got some 50,000 followers on Instagram, and the average engagement for a good post would be 2,000 people actually seeing it. It's really low. Not everybody that follows you actually follows you and or goes to Instagram on a daily basis. It's even worse with your Facebook like page. We've got almost 100,000 following that, and we're lucky if 1,000 people of those 100,000 see it in their feed. Not because they chose to not see it, but because Instagram has this stupid thing called an algorithm. I hate algorithms. They suck. So I want to hear what the translators are trying to do right now. But they determine what is important and who gets heard and whose voice gets out, and usually you have to pay in order to be heard, even by your diehard fans. So what's the solution? The best solution is an email list, because nobody's blocking you besides their potential spam folder, junk folder, or whatever. So
Mhm.
this is what we do. We use MailChimp. Go ahead and guide us through it.
Okay, so I have different groups. So to say for MailChimp.
Mm-hmm.
So right here, we also do radio servicing, DJ servicing. That's another tool that we'd use to promote an album or a music video. Is
DJ servicing. So
yes.
here's some tips you can do for that. DJ Servicing, you have a song, and you say, hey, this is blah, 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 blah. This is Bajorquez Whatnot. And I just want to introduce you to the latest single from my new album called Disco in the Pandemic. Hope you enjoy it. So you do some sort of like, you know, some intro. You don't say the name of the station. And then you send that a few different MP3s to the station along with the MP3 of the song, and you build that list. How many are on our list for DJs?
We have 685.
Yeah. Now, so 685 DJs get a single when we've collected this over the years. Everywhere we go, oh, you're a DJ, okay. Whenever we intentionally fish for DJs, meaning that every year or every 6 months we'll say, if you're a DJ you'd like to be added to our list, please, you know, give us a link to where you're DJing so that we can verify it, and then we'll forward you this. And so we do that. So with every video and every single, we send that off to them, right?
Yes.
Give us a glimpse of what that would look like. One of those emailers.
Oh, okay. Sure. So
Maybe the You Are Loved one.
Okay.
If you have it there.
Yep. I do.
You know why I'm saying that.
I know. I fixed it.
Mistakes happen.
Yeah.
We try and have everything verified. In this case, a mail went out after You Are Loved. We just copied and pasted, and when we were releasing the single after it says download You Are Loved, and I was like, oh no, it's locked in step. But then you don't send a second email saying sorry, I made a mistake.
Yep.
Unless the link is wrong, do not send a second email.
What I do is what I like about MailChimp, sorry to cut you off, but I'll get a report and it'll tell me how many opened them. And then I can click the resend button on the bottom, and it'll only go out to people who didn't open their emails. And so I can edit. I can edit in there. So I edited it, and they got the.
Oh, they got the right one.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
You. That's the one time you don't want people to open up the first time. So yeah, you can actually resend. Now, something that is very special about MailChimp is that if you get their first and last name, you can say, hey, Mark Mohr, or whatever. I know that Nikita uses this a lot. So throughout her supporter updates, it'll say, Mark, I'm so grateful for you, and blah, blah. I'll be praying for the Mohr family. And so these are all things that she kind of adds, and it looks like it's written just to you. If you can have the person's name, which we don't always do, that's a huge plus. Show us what you got.
Okay, so this is what went out for the You Are Loved. So this is the MediaFire link. So I do send it in WAV and in MP3 just in case. And then also here's the video.
Some people want WAV. I prefer that. A lot of DJs want MP3.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, so that's what we do from MailChimp, and then our main list.
Yes. Our main list. 1 second.
And I will say that we're doing a send for the primary reason to grow you so that you can go. But a send has been a blessing to our email list as well. Mm-hmm. We've seen an additional probably 1,500 people join. So how many total contacts are in now?
We have 18,701. But 14,463 are active subscribers. Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll tell me if there's some of these had errors or something like that. So
now there is so how do we collect these aside from sign up for our masterclass by giving us your email, aside from at the end of a survey saying we want to give you a new song that isn't out right now, just give us your email. What's a way we can do that at a concert, for instance?
So we do that. We do giveaways. So sometimes we do stickers. If you want a free sticker, all you have to do is give us your email, and then we also do phone number now in the US, so we can get their text alerts. So we can get their number for text alerts.
Okay, so we're not asking for something for free.
Right.
We're not saying give us your email. Nobody wants to be added to an email list voluntarily. Right. I noticed that when I was just getting some new plugins for the next album, I like to increase what we're doing and change our sound and have it evolve. So I would log into one place like Plugin Boutique or whatever, and they'd say, hey, give me your email address, join our weekly newsletter, and we'll give you this plugin for free. I'm like, of course. worse.
Right.
And if they keep doing that every month, I'm like, bring it on. I'll stay on the list to get something for free. In this case, we use our list as a primary way to communicate with our supporters and tell them what God is doing around the world and how they can continue to partner with us in that.
Yes. Because we we used to do mail outs. You remember when we used to have stuffing parties? Like, oh my gosh, it would take days.
Yeah. So I would send out 700 to 1,500 physical letters every month or every quarter with physical paper updates, but it cost so much money to print for postage. It was almost $1 per one, so $1,500 to get something out. And when you're sending out one before Giving Tuesday, when you're sending out one around Christmas and one for year-end giving, oh, you have to ask for the year-end giving because you're spending so much. So there is a cost with MailChimp. It's free up to a certain amount, and then you have to pay per amount that you have on your list.
Yes.
But it's worth it because here's the thing. As I mentioned before, if you post something, people actually have to want to go and want to watch and want to find it in order to know what's going on if you post it on social media. Like, I haven't been on Twitter in 10 years to see what people are posting. But I check my email every single day. And that's why the title is so crucial.
Yeah.
The title, the subject of the email, if they don't read anything, they'll read the subject and they'll decide whether they're opening it or not. So you want it to be a little bit, not clickbaitish, but you want it to pique their interest. You want them to be like, what does this say? And then you want the text to be short enough. Pull up on an email that we've done recently with short text. We try to alternate between length of paragraphs. The shorter the better, with direct links. And you want to make sure that there are links, and you have to make sure that the links work. Okay, guys? So this is what I do. Every time that Torie typically writes the press release, then I completely rewrite the press release. And then I send it over to my sister-in-law, who is a major editor. And then she corrects that. So this is an update that we did with news on my dad, the Ascend Masterclasses, just a simple short paragraph. Look at the length of these paragraphs, super short. Pictures are good. So the first thing is the title. The title has to tell the whole story. Then there's the headers and the images. The images, if they can't read, if they can only read another language, they see my parents, they see Lock and Step, they see Ascend. They know the story. The captions then are the next thing that people will read. And then beyond that, there's the actual text or anything highlighted or all capped. I would not ever do anything all caps unless you really, really, really want them to think you're screaming, because that's what it looks like. So all caps, I would recommend against. Let's talk. Let's see if there are any questions regarding MailChimp really quick, and then we'll talk text alerts. Okay. Let me see where we're at with Q&A. And okay. This is Tim Leonard. If you submit the lyrics on DistroKid, does it get them on Apple Music, Spotify, etc.? It does. Hey, Tim, Joe Pickney. By the way, check out his new album. It's fantastic. It does get them on Apple. I'm not sure if it gets them on others. You'll have to look into that. But I love that you can submit them. And I don't think it gets them on Spotify, though. But that may change. The fact that you can add them and edit them is great. And there's another thing you can do. You can even change the title of a song, maybe even the artists that are featured. You can do little tweaks after it's already up on DistroKid, and it'll update the stores. You can't do that on other things like TuneCore. Okay, and let's head on over to text alerts. Let us know if you have any questions so far on what we're dealing with, guys. We really want to hear from you. We want this to be very, very interactive, okay?
The question is, how many people manage the different apps that you use?
Managing the different apps, just me and Tori. Sometimes Justin, right?
Yeah, sometimes I do Spotify.
Oh, Justin, yeah, definitely Spotify. Hey, Justin.
Hey,
All right, so yeah, that's a great question. Somebody you trust. Make sure it's somebody you trust. Make sure that you share their same religious, socio-political beliefs,
Yeah.
and make sure that they're out there to make friends and not enemies. You definitely don't want a waffleicious ranter on losing fans because somebody's going off on somebody. Make
Yeah.
sure that they're graceful or their middle name is Grace.
Right. Amen.
Right, Tori Grace.
Yeah,
Hoopii.
yeah.
Okay, so what do we got here? This is our secret sauce. Okay, you've got cheeseburgers all around, but the difference is between this company and that company is what they put on it. And in this case, when it comes to promotion, our secret sauce is definitely text alerts. Tell us how we get
Yes.
these numbers. Tell us
Okay.
why we do it.
So we started doing this, gosh, I don't even know how long ago, but as you can see here, I have groups, and the groups I divide all the numbers. We had 3 different platforms. We wanted to go to reggae, but then we ended up with Christ. And then we also have partner for our giving porthole. But if I'm going to send a message, here we go. You can see all the places we visited. So I take every night, we'll do a giveaway, or giveaways are good in promoting. We also do free stickers, albums, anything. And we have it right there at the merch table. It's for us to stay connected with our fans. So I'll take the numbers each night and I input them by places that we visited, because it's only good for US. It's not good for other countries. So I can send a text alert into all of our contacts, or I can do it per area that, if Christafari is going out to Las Vegas, we're like, hey, Christafari is coming out here, so not everybody gets them, because you pay for every text you send out, depending on how many people or how many numbers are in your database. So we use it to send out our mailers. Because after I do a MailChimp, I'll get a website, a little like a little, what do they call that? A link to see to see the MailChimp, to see the email. And so we send that out via text too. So it's just another way to piggyback our MailChimp database is with our text alerts.
Yeah, so essentially, if you were to define what we do, I think it would be 2 parts social media, 1 part mailing list, 1 part text alert. Would you say that'd be the case?
Yes.
I just did 2
Mm-hmm.
parts. I'm horrible with counting on my fingers, evidently. Yeah. Okay, so text alerts are absolutely crucial. It's, again, a way that people, they may not necessarily be checking their Instagram. Some of our fans don't even have Instagram in some nations, especially locally, but they check their text messages and they check their email. So
Yes.
it's a second way of doing it. And like she said, we like to do incentives. I'll be up on stage and I'll say, if you text Christ to this number right now, we'll pull it up, 77948. Is it 77948?
Yes, it is.
And actually, if you do that right now, we would love it. If you're in America, 77948 is the number, no area code, and you text the message Christ, then you'll get a text back. And then what we would do at a concert, we would say, show us that text, and we'll give you a free sticker, or some sort of discount or something. We definitely want to bless them for that, and it's a way to keep in partnership. And what's really cool is that, like, when my dad's in the hospital, man, boom, I got this prayer team supporting us. So how many are on all our lists for this when it comes to?
We have over 5,000.
Yeah, that's a good number. 5,000 people get a direct text from us.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a very small number considering what the major labels would do or different things, but we built it up over the years. And we also, as she probably mentioned, do it by territories. So when we collect all those numbers in Colorado, next time we're in Colorado, she can just email or text Colorado. Look at this. So these are the numbers of people that joined. And this is another really cool thing, is that we could be scrolling up and down saying, where should we go once America opens up? Well, it looks like Big Island's the first spot. Oahu's actually the first spot, then Big Island, then San Diego, etc. Okay, what's 122? Maui? Gotta go to Maui. All right, Jesus told me. Las Vegas, I guess so. It's hot, but you when you look at those numbers, you can start to see, okay, these places are stronger. Colorado's really strong. Calistoga, Napa's strong, et cetera, et cetera. So it helps us see that, and then she could hand pick or cherry pick, like if we're doing a local outreach. So this is good for outreach concerts. So we do something called the Light at the Lighthouse. You know that when we play Light at the Lighthouse locally, we're going to send at least one, maybe two texts saying, join us next Sunday or next Saturday or whatever for a free concert in San Pedro. And then on the day of, in the morning, don't forget to catch a free concert today. But we won't send that to Connecticut. We won't send that to Colorado. That would be a waste. So we try to focus on just those crucial people. Anything else you want to add to regarding the text alerts? There are different companies you can use, different ways you can do it.
Yep.
If you know of a better, cheaper company, let us know. But we definitely have been. Now, this costs us money. How much does it cost to send out 5,000 texts?
$150.
$150.
Yes.
How much does it cost to reach 5,000 people? Guaranteed 5,000 people on Facebook right now. Go. Head over there.
Oh my gosh.
This is a race.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that wall. Look at all that Christafari paraphernalia. She's a supporter, and that's a big portion of it, is you got to be a believer. Here's the thing, guys. As we're talking about getting somebody to buy your album, getting somebody to listen to it, well, if it's bad, they're not going to listen to it. They're gonna judge in the first 15 seconds if they like it. They're going to judge in the first 3 minutes if they're gonna keep moving on or whatnot. First 3 songs, whether it's a good album or a bad album. So put your best stuff up top, and we'll talk more about that in the album production class. So it's really, really crucial that you have good stuff going in. That is paramount. How's it going over there, Tor?
Okay, I got it.
Okay, so show us your screen. If we were to advertise, again, we have 5,000 or 89,000 or however many people that have liked our page on Facebook. If I want to advertise to okay.
So you want to advertise? Do you want to boost a post for somebody to see?
Yeah, how many guarantees does it get?
150. Let me see. I had it, but it went out. Shucks. Wait. Sorry, technical difficulties.
No worries.
Oh wait,
I'm here with.
that's your post.
I'm promoting this right now.
Oh my god! Oh my goodness! I went too far out. Sorry.
It's all right.
My hands.
Okay, in the meantime, so is MailChimp linked or used as primary email for your website, or is it in addition to the webmail you use? Okay, great question, Tim. On our website, there's a link to get people to join our email list, right? By the way, people change emails, and people won't always be your fan for life unless their name is Ja Pickney. It goes up and down, and so you always have to be getting new fans. You have to be building that database. Otherwise, you look at a band like Air Supply that you would fill stadiums and may be able to do so in other countries, playing in larger clubs now. because you got to continue to write, to create, to build that audience base. So that's crucial in that. So when you link to from our main page to MailChimp, they join. When they contact us, no, it goes to a different email. Booking, or I think it's booking at Christafari.com or whatever. But it is crucial that whatever email it's coming from is a kind of a personal one. So for me, it's mark@Christafari.com, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
And it's coming from me. Every email has been approved by me, written by me, edited by somebody else, and it comes into my inbox. Does it come into yours as well, Torie?
Yes.
Mark @Christafari.
Yes.
So 2 people see it. Hopefully, at least one of us will respond. A lot of times, both of us respond.
Yes. Yep.
You hear the same thing in 2 different ways. Okay, so how much does it cost?
So I'm at 200 to get 4,900 to 12,000 per day.
Oh my gosh! So you can't even guarantee you 5,000, and it's already costing more than text alerts.
Yes.
Okay, so, and we've done this, and we've paid probably last year $12,000. I don't know how much in advertising on Facebook. It did not really pay off. We still do it.
Yeah.
But it did not really pay off.
Yeah.
In fact, there's other things that we do and have done. I'll mention them. iTickets. Let's talk about iTickets. Why don't you go to itickets.com. In the meantime, I'm going to pull something up here on my end, okay?
Sure.
iTickets is I'm not sure if they're outside of America, like Canada, but I'm pretty sure, I know that they're all throughout the US, and they're the main one to go with if you're promoting any sort of concert. How much does it cost to get your concert added to iTickets?
It's for us, it's free.
Okay.
They do it for free because we do all of our shows for free.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we worked out something with them because we do our advertising, like when we send out emails with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they did something to for Moment to Pray for us.
Okay.
Yeah. So is this what you wanted to see, the homepage of iTickets?
Yeah. So just guide them through what they would do for that, just to, if they wanted to
Oh, okay.
to do iTickets, or how, because I know that iTickets, there's 2 things we do. We add it to iTickets, the concert to iTickets, but then we do something even more so. We then sometimes go with them and advertise to like 30,000 music listeners in the area. So we do that as well, correct?
Yes. So it'll just depending on where your area is. So it's only for US, it's not international. So then we actually work with a rep, so we don't have to have our own account. So that's really good too. So we don't have to log in or do anything. All I do is just send them, because I already work with a different app, which is a website, which is Reverb Nation. So I just send them, just the one link, so I don't have to do 2 steps with this iTickets thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, iTickets is a great way to promote.
Which is here.
Two different things we've promoted through them. We promote songs.
Yes.
So we have them send out a single for free to people. And sometimes, how many people would open that up?
A song, that just depends. I mean, you can't guarantee that, that someone's going to open
it, but it is a way to get it to get your song for free in people's
yes and
box.
they have different people, like they don't know the same people, so that's why we like to use iTickets, is because it's their audience is different, and so that's a good way for you as an artist to gain a different audience.
Another thing we like to use is it New Release Today, or it used to be New Release Tuesday?
Oh, I don't know.
Let me see what it's called. The biggest one, New Release. Christian music, newreleasetoday.com. So if you can get your music featured on here, that is huge as well. I'm gonna screen share really quick, Tor. I'm gonna
Okay.
knock you. Yeah, let me do that. Share screen, and okay. So yeah, this is new release today. While I'm doing that, Tori, hey, see if you can find that Trinidad and Tobago video.
Yep, I got it.
Okay, you got it. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, so this is new release today, and if you can get featured in here as an artist, it's huge. It's really, really huge. So we've had a few times where a video or whatever has been featured, and when it's featured for free, it's super great.
Yes.
So yeah, this is the, I believe, the most popular of all Christian sites right now, at least in America. So if you're anybody, your stuff is on here, and it's just kind of news. Used to be called New Release Tuesday, and then they moved releases from Tuesday to Friday, so it's New Release Today. But yeah, great thing, great asset. Now this is the kind of thing that our publicist would typically be doing for us, and let's talk a little bit about that. You release something, you have a concert, you have an album, you have a major event, you may want to hire a publicist. We have done that. It typically costs, sometimes just for one press release, about $1,000. It's expensive. It's very expensive. It's probably one of the most expensive things we do. They create the release, they then send it out, and you just pray and cross your fingers and just hope that people respond to it. When we did that for the pandemic, 700 Club reached out and wanted to do an interview with me, and we probably had 4 or 5 other interviews come through, not major ones by any means. When we did that for Moment to Pray, maybe 1 or 2 interviews, and that was about it. So you don't know whether it's going to fall on deaf ears, and you also don't know news cycle wise if it's going to fly. You could release something on a day when some tragic thing happens in the nation, and all of a sudden it, like Mariah Carey released a movie that was supposed to be a big hit called Glitter, and she released it 9/11.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big hit.
Yeah.
So there is something to be said about timing, and God's in control of that.
Yeah, just like with the Grammys, it was supposed to be a big thing, and the same day as the Grammys, Kobe Bryant, I mean, it was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You had an accident, so yeah, definitely.
And you can't control that.
Yep.
I would say this though: if you're an artist, don't wait for that perfect time and moment to release. I would just get it out.
Yeah.
I know some artists have gone as far as, because of COVID, held off a few months on an album. I wouldn't do that. I would think during COVID, people would want to have encouraging music.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said about that as well.
Yep.
Okay, let's go ahead and play that promo video.
Sure.
This is the kind of thing we would do for a concert. It takes time, money, B-roll, and creativity in order to do it. But when we go to a place like Trinidad and Tobago, we hold a free concert, and we pay for the sound. We pay for our hotel. Actually, we don't pay for the hotel. This is something creative we did. We asked them to sponsor, and we said, we'll do a video featuring your hotel, and we'll give it to you that you can use to promote your hotel. We got hotel for free. So we pay for our food. We pay for our stage, our sound. We rent the area, and then we have to get the people there. And this is what we did to get the people there.
Yeah.
Trinidad and Tobago, are you ready for the return of Christafari? He will join #1 Billboard chart-topping gospel reggae pioneers Christafari for a massive praise festival like no other on Friday, June 21st at 7 p.m. at Adam Smith Square on Arapita Avenue, Port of Spain. Come dressed in black and white and get ready to praise the Most High with artists like Christafari, Avion Blackman, Jaron Nurse, Blessed Messenger, Isaac Blackman, Michelle Sylvester, Nehelet Blackman and Lights the Band, DJ Body Rock, DJ Andal, and more. Don't miss the Praise Festival with Christafari at Adam Smith Square, Friday, June 21st. It's free!
Yes.
There you have it. So we saw thousands of people there, and I believe that the end result of the concert was what we shot and what we showed them. Aside from the stage diving, I think Trinidadians would have run if we tried to do that.
Yep. And we did boost that on Instagram by the location. So we targeted just Trinidad and Tobago, just that area right there. Yeah. And this was the result for that.
How much did we pay for that boosting? Can you see that? View insights, maybe?
Yeah, I have to go on the IG page.
No, right there. You're there.
Oh no, this is a screenshot.
Oh, that's a screenshot. Oh, sorry. By the way, I was asking her to move her mouse because he couldn't see the text. But one thing that I would encourage you to do is think visually. How can I visually show this concert before it actually happens? And then how can I put in words everything that they need to know? And then how can I say everything that they know? So in text, if they have their phone muted or their TV muted, they get the info. If they aren't looking at the screen, they get the info. If they see it, listen to it, read it, they really get the info. And the number one comment that we got is, that looks like fun. I want to go.
Yeah.
The number two comment is, why are they wearing black and white? They're satanic, which we aren't. Okay.
Right.
So
I want to look at my phone.
You don't worry about it. You had something. Take us back to where you were just earlier, and show us that concert flyer. There was some sort of flyer.
Yep, that was the one we did for your yearly event that we do at Rolling Hills Covenant.
So this is the kind of thing that we like to do.
Yep.
We do a postcard size flyer. It's harder, it's thicker. And why postcard size? The other side, actually, it's not a rave flyer where it's the same on both sides. The other side has an invite for the person, and then on one side of it, it's empty. So we will send those off to about 1,500 people locally in physical mail. So we do physical mail, we do text alerts, we do email, we do Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, we do Linktree, we do, and then there's our website, there's our banners. So they receive this in the mail, and now they really can't ignore us. Sometimes, if we're serious, we'll send one off a month out. We'll send one off a week out. But it gets expensive again. Postcard is cheaper though than normal mail, and all the info is there. All the details are there. It says, everything we need is right there. Now this concert, doing all that, still only pulled in 300 to 500 people.
Yeah.
So you spend a lot of money.
Yeah. A
lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of energy. The whole "you book it, they will come" mentality is not the case. So now you have to ask yourself, what am I going to do at this event or for this event that makes it unique, that makes it stand out, that makes it different? So like when we had a backyard outreach, it was a peanut butter and jelly party. We brought in every kind of jelly we could imagine, every kind of peanut butter, all different kind of breads, and nobody left there saying, I've been to a party just like that. We set up a massive stage in my parents' backyard. There wasn't a lot of people there, but it was a memorable moment. I've thought about doing a pajama party. Don't know if I'm going to do it. Where we have all kinds of cereal and everybody can mix and match their own cereals. I don't know, man. Some way, somehow, be creative. Do something different that nobody else is doing. Because if you do the same, you'll get the same. Or worse. Okay. Anything else you want to share there, Tor?
On this one, we did silent auction, and Mark, he loves to eat out, and we love to eat. I mean, who doesn't love to eat, right? So, we went and we asked, the most frequented places if they would donate, and we had some of the supporters donate. So that was different too. That was an extra side thing.
Yeah. And one of the cool things about that was that I go to my favorite restaurant. I may go there once a week. They know me by name. They know my order. I walk in and say, hey, it's that time of the year. Could you give me 2 free meals, a free meal for 2 people?
Yep.
And I'll promote you from stage.
Yep.
And they're like, sure.
Yep.
They just write it on a receipt. And then people are bidding for that, sometimes $50. It's only worth $25. At
Yep.
the end of it all, on some of these, we're able to raise $8,000 to even $15,000, and that almost covered our flights for the next tour that we were leaving on within 24 hours.
Yep.
We were going to Africa. We're like, Lord, please. And people supported. So it was a great way to get people behind. And then we had a lot of people donate different items. And when they would donate different items, whether it was a blanket or a drum or a painting or this or that, when they do that, one person donated, I loved this. This was so sweet. They donated their timeshare for a week.
Oh, wow.
Our biggest supporter paid for the timeshare, outbid everybody, $1,500 he paid for it. And then turned around, the lady said, hey, when do you want to stay there? And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. Give it to Mark and Avion. They deserve it. They need to take a break. So we received $1,500 to go towards flights. It covered 2 flights. And then we got blessed by it. Was just this symbiotic relationship. So that was a real blessing. The silent auction was a real good way to help us raise support. Let me tell you another way that I just absolutely love. I wish I had a piece of paper here. Okay, let's pretend like this is a very large piece of paper, right? I was talking to an artist and I was asking him just locally what he does and this and that. And he's like, oh, I tour all over. And I'm like, what kind of audience attendance are you getting? And I'm expecting him to say like 50 or 100. And he's like, well, 300 to 1,000 or so. I'm like, how are you doing that? You're independent. You're super, nobody really knows who you are. All good. Oh, look at this guy comes in with a piece of paper. I love this. We got such a good team. Awesome. I've got Sharpies here. Here we go. Okay. So what he described to me was absolutely ingenious. Okay. So we have, I'm going to write so bad, Christafari, and then we've got this lion, right? This is the worst drawing you've ever seen. Okay, so let's say we've got a poster, right? And it says Christafari, and it's got a lion. Oh, that is the worst lion ever. And this is the concert poster, and then it has the info, let's say May 17th, and the cost is $10. All our concerts are free, but maybe yours charge a ticket, right? Okay, so it's got the artist. You got to make sure the name is big and bold. You got to make sure the image is going to pop. People look at it for a second when it's on a telephone pole or whatever. They're gonna know who that is, and you make sure you have the details and of course the location. Let's say it's my home church, right? Okay, so now how do you get this out? And how do you sell those tickets? This artist was an absolute genius. He went through a Christian business directory, and he went to any Christian business he could. And then he started just going to any business. He'd be like, hey, I'm doing a concert, and I'd like to sell you an inch-by-inch block. Or sometimes, depending on the side of the poster, it could be 3 inches by 3 inches. I'd like to sell you this square right here on the poster. And on this square, we can put whatever you want. Put your logo. You can even put a coupon, buy one, get one free, whatever. But this will be yours. I'd like to sell it to you for $100. Okay? And with that $100, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to give you 10 concert tickets. Those 10 concert tickets are worth $10 each. So basically, you get $10. You get 10 tickets. You can invite your family, your friends, anybody to, right? And 10 tickets for $100 and free advertising. So basically, I'm giving you a free ad. So the first store says yes. And then the second store says no, but the third store says yes. And so on and so forth. And it goes all the way around the whole border of the entire poster. It's a little ugly, but it's kind of got this multicolor frame going all the way around. Now he's got 30 inch by inch ads around the frame. And the main thing is still the main thing. The main thing, of course, is the concert. But now he's got all these different people who are now when they pay that $100, first of all, he gets the $100. Second of all, they put their poster up. Can I put the poster up? Of course. That's huge, right? Because it's got their image on it when he comes back and he gives them the tickets. And anybody good at math? It's a simple equation. 30 times 100. What do we got? Everybody knows this one, right? So he just made $3,000, but he didn't just make $3,000. He's got 3,000 tickets out. No, not 3,000 tickets out. He's got 300 tickets. How many tickets is it? Ah! Yeah. So sorry, my math is so bad. 30 times 10. He's got 300 tickets out. So he's pretty much guaranteeing that he's going to have a core audience base. Now, will the Subway shop guy who has the 10 tickets, will he make sure that his family members take it and use it? No, but he did just get money from that guy. And so he did that, and he was able to fund his career as an independent. Now, did he spend a lot of time? Yeah. Did he spend more time doing that than he would ever do a concert? Yeah. But that's one way to do it. Any addition to that, Tori?
About putting up concert posters. Came to mind is that when I was with you that one time, we went to all your places who donated food items. We got to hang their posters. Yeah. So we got to put out the flyers.
Yeah, and then of course churches.
Yeah,
you
churches.
Want to go to churches.
Yes.
You want to go to local youth groups and just say, hey, can I give a quick pitch? If not, will you please? And if possible, if you can speak, it's even better, because 3 things people need to know in order to get something from you. Know you? Do they know you? Who are you? I don't know you.
Yeah.
Do they trust you? Do they like you? Know you, like you, trust you, essentially. So it's the same thing with this. I mean, why you're still watching right now, chances are you feel like you know us. Hopefully you feel like you trust us. I hope you like us because we love you. But there's something about that. And if you can give somebody something for free or have them feel like they're getting something for free, they will be more compelled to reciprocate and maybe buy something from you. But again, we're not doing this for the money. I know that a lot of artists out there are trying to make ends meet. So I wanted to give them that. I've honestly never done that around the poster thing. We've just trusted that the Lord provides, and through supporters such as yourself, he does. Anything you'd like to add there?
No.
Okay, Joshua Benson said, before setting up Pandora, Spotify, etc., does DistroKid set up and manage all platforms like Spotify, etc., or do they have to all have been set up separately? This is one of the cool things when it comes to Pandora, to Spotify, to anything. If you're an artist who does not currently have any presence in those places, you create your artist, you put your artist name in there for DistroKid or TuneCore or whatever you're using, and then boom, it just shows up there. Now it will occasionally say, hey, there's 2 artists by this name, or like 15 artist names positive. Which one are you? So that you can link it to the right account. And as we've mentioned, I think it was with, was it Jamie K? Sometimes there's some issues with things connecting to the wrong ones. You definitely want to make sure when you're doing your artist name that you settle on something that nobody else has.
And then real quick, regarding that, it would be good to not only sign up on a distribution, but make sure you go into these platforms and claim your accounts.
Yes.
So you can have personalized control over it.
Yes.
Claiming your accounts is
claim
crucial.
your
Thanks,
account.
Justin is the boss number 2. Okay, what's another one? How many people do you manage on all those platforms, and how much time do they dedicate to it? Or you can answer, you can answer
Oh
that
my
one.
gosh. Like I said before, this is an extension of me. I do spend a lot of time, and over the years, like in the beginning, we had just a little, we've grown our promotion, or we've grown the things we use, and I've had to learn them how to figure out how to use these myself. And so it takes a lot of like playing what works, what doesn't work, researching, figuring out what, how to get the greatest amount of bang for your buck. I would say it that way. I try to minimize my time on it, but usually in the first thing in the morning, at the ending of the evening, I'll spend most of my time doing that. Unless we're pushing, like we're gonna be pushing hard for Avion's album, so then I'm gonna be pushing even harder. Just depends on what task I'm doing. Yeah.
Nice. And
Yeah.
when like I just asked Jabby to do some design for me, but if you don't have a Jabby, and he does all of our stuff, and he knows we have a good relationship. We also have Rosa. Is that how you say her name? She's the best. If you've seen all the promos that we do for all these classes, she does them all. She serves the Lord wholeheartedly with her talents. I love that. But if you don't have one of those, Fiverr is a great way.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything you want to do regarding all the things we mentioned, Fiverr is a great way. I would not buy likes. I would not pay to be on playlists for Spotify. Next semester we'll talk more about Spotify, but I wouldn't pay for more views on YouTube. Don't pay for that. It's first of all, it's illegal. Second of all, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. Yep.
Something else that I want to encourage you to do is to create a one sheet. I haven't done this in a while, but it's in my head. And we used to, when we had physical distribution, is we had to answer all these questions. There was a track listing, there was a feature artist, there was the selling points, key selling points, accomplishments that the artist has done, why a store would want to get 10,000 versus 2,000 copies of your CD, the album cover, all the different things. The key selling points was a crucial one in all of it. But the kind of the thesis, the thrust, if you were to take your event, your song, or your album, and to sum it up into one sentence. Oh, you're so good. She's got one. This is we would call it
one.
NPWS, new product worksheet, aka one sheet. Now, you never saw this, but it had the bullet points. If you just read one thing, that's what you read. It had the description up top. It had marketing highlights and selling points. And one of the cool things was this is the first album we had to go #1. So we had no idea how far it was going to go, what it was going to do. But if we hadn't have prepared this one sheet, if we hadn't have had sold it to the stores and tried our best to get it out there, it wouldn't have done what it did. So that's a big part of it as well. Ministry statement is something that I love here. Christafari commits to preach the gospel of Christ clearly through music, the spoken word in our lives, as illustrated in the Holy Bible, in order to win souls for Christ's kingdom in accordance with his great commission. We desire to lead a new generation of believers in worship and edify and build up the body of Christ while providing a biblically sound musical alternative. That's our old mission statement. Now it's reaching the lost at any cost and making disciples of all nations.
The one thing I liked about what we did with this album is that we did a Kickstarter. So a lot of the incentives, if they wanted to support, oh my gosh, that was incredible.
How much did we raise in that? Was it 20 or 30?
Yeah.
I think a good bit of money, 30, and it helped cover the cost of manufacturing. It helped cover T-shirts. It helped cover different things that, and our fans are then wearing those shirts, and they're like, "I made this album possible," and they were so proud. They had a sense of ownership, something that you could do instead of a Kickstarter or what's the other Indiegogo is Patreon, and we're going to be doing one. That's on our list of things to do. Is Patreon is a continued, constant support. And we're going to be doing that for our podcast, for our media, for our videos, for some of those expenses that we have that simply right now are not being covered by the support we're raising. So if you have this kind of a worksheet, now I think you should have this kind of a worksheet with bullet points, with marketing highlights, with a ministry statement, with a description, some sort of bio at the top, and an image. I think you should have this whether you're doing a concert, if you're trying to get sponsors, funding, anything. If you're trying to get governmental support, another thing you can try. Some people get government funds in other countries, not here necessarily. Some people get let's say the travel bureau of a certain place is like, hey, this could be good for attracting people from other countries to come and see this band come. We want to get on board with the tourist board or this or that. So if you have this, it's professional. If you're like, yeah, we're holding it down the corner, it'll be at 5 p.m. Hopefully, we'll see, maybe 7. If you do that, nobody's going to care. So approach it with professionalism. This one sheet is a big thing to do. You can do it digitally, have it on a link tree maybe, with links to the different artists that are playing. If there's another thing that's crucial, so many things we can talk about.
I know.
Who's on the album? Try and reach up if you can. They'll pull you up. Larger artists, with a larger audience base. Who's on the concert in Wayne's World? If you book them, they will come. If you book the top artists, their crowds will follow. One of the things that I've tried to get into the mindset of different promoters I've worked with is they're like, hey, I really like this guy's sound. I'm like, I know you do, but let's see if the world does. Oh, they have 2,000 followers, and they've been around for 10 years. Oh, they have 100 monthly listeners on Spotify. If they have that, and those 100 monthly listeners are across the whole world, I can guarantee you there's no way they're going to bring 100 people to your concert.
Yeah.
So
And
I think
that works good too when we travel, Mark.
Yeah.
Like in Hawaii, we'll go with a popular local band that will
Mhm.
be the opener, so we can get a shared following from both
Yep.
artists. We do that, like we did Vanessa Kwai and she followed us to Solomon Islands. She's from Vanuatu, but she's real popular in Oceania. Of course, Hawaii Sons of Yeshua opened up for us, so we do that often. The Black Men's in Trinidad.
Yeah, and you saw that Trinidad concert. The artists that opened up for us were so much more popular than us in Trinidad. We may have a more international fan base, but guys like Blessed Messenger, Jaron Nurse, they can't even sing the first chorus of their song without the whole audience singing out loud and having to stop and restart the song. So that's something that's crucial. I always try and, if I'm ever booking anything, try and get a larger audience, and if you can do that, you can guarantee. I mean, larger artists can guarantee a larger audience.
And we'll talk more about that in our booking class next
Yes,
week.
When is the booking class?
I think it's on the 25th.
One thing that I like to try and do, we'll get to that later, is a little tip that I learned so many years ago, is the power of 3. Think about it. There's morning, noon, and night. There's Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. For us, we try to do things 3 at once. So, for instance, at the end of this month, we will be finishing Ascend. We will be launching a music video. We will be launching Avion's album. We typically try and release an album right before a tour, and a tour for a core audience. So that's why we tour Brazil right after we release an album right before we tour Brazil. We try and release a music video before we go there. We did Beleza. Okay, so let's take this January or February. February 4th, let's say, we were going to Brazil on February, and our first concert was on the 8th. February 7th, we released our Beleza music video. February 8th, we released, we launched our whole tour, and February 7th or something around then, we launched our brand new album. So you had to go to the concert to get it, and sometimes we would give them out or sell them before the release date at concerts. So there's 3 things happening. If you can get 3 things happening at once, that will get you so much further than one thing. So these artists, God bless them, they think it's news when they're going to release a song in 2 weeks. It's not news. I wouldn't take the time telling people I'm going to release something that they can't listen to right now, they can't go to, they can't click on. For me, it's a teaser. And if they keep promoting it and then I finally get to that day and I listen to it and I don't like it, I'm really disappointed. versus, hey, I've got a new single out, and those 4 times they were going to pre-promote it, they actually promote it. I prefer that way. That's my take on it. What are your thoughts, Tor?
Yes, I agree. And with Beleza, we had it spinning on the Brazilian radio before we even got there.
Yeah.
So, it helps when you do that to get the crowd familiar with your song so they can sing along with you.
Yeah.
I mean, every fan wants to sing along with you.
Torie, while we're on your page, do me a favor, pull over to, is it EIN News?
Okay. Got it.
We've, when we hired a publicist, we realized that he kept using the same news wire kind of a thing. And what it does is it gets it to all the different news sources. And if they deem it newsworthy as it pulls into their feed, they may promote it. So in this case, yeah, there it is. So you can pay probably $70 or whatever, and you can do your own press wire, and it will go to the press. But you have to ask yourself this question. Who cares? Why will they care? What's in it for them? Search Christafari EIN and see if you can find it there. And if you've dealt with what we call the elephant in the room, which is why should they care? Why does it matter? Then, and you can truly address that, then you're going to have success. All right. Bill Fleury, love you, bro. You're the best. Light at the Lighthouse. Woo! We're going to do a virtual one this year. How would you rank and the various promotional platforms? I would say, for me, email, text. For us, Instagram, of course. Facebook and Instagram, they're different demographics. The demographics for Facebook are going to be 40 and up, probably, mostly, depending on the nation. I don't know. What would you say, though? There's so many different ways to do it.
Yeah, I like email, text alert. We also use, Christafari had a Reverb Nation page. This was even before.
Oh, gosh.
Mark had this.
Let's go MySpace then, if we're going to go back that old. but
yeah,
Reverb Nation, we put it up.
I still use it. Because Reverb links to Facebook.
Ooh.
But also we don't have any shows here, but that's just a sign of the times. But all of this links to our website. But as we release a single, I'll put it up here and they can hear it right on their Reverb Nation page.
Yeah.
And they can listen to the music video right here on the Reverb Nation page, and it's all free. But they've had it, and we transferred, I forget, I don't know how many emails, because this was our original email holder. Yeah.
I remember there was something else that we did. We wanted to give away our new single for free, or a new, I think we did this with Oceans. I forgot the company we used, but it was, we're going to release it in a month. And in the meantime, we want to give it to you for free. You can donate an amount if you want to.
Yeah, Noise Trade. Yeah,
Noise
Trade.
We use Noise Trade. Go to that website if you will. We use Noise Trade, and that collected an email address, and then that also helped us build up this email list as well. Email list is paramount, guys, and telling stories regularly on your Instagram is paramount as well. And then, okay, so that's Noise Trade right there. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And so you've got all kinds of.
Yeah, and then Bands in Town as well.
I was just gonna write that down. Okay. So now Bands in Town is the hottest thing right now. I follow like 2 artists, and once I follow them on Bands in Town, it tells me news about like artists.
Yes.
So it'll get you Newsboys info if you liked Toby Mac. It'll get you, Solomon Jabby info if you liked Christafari, et cetera, et cetera. So take us through Bands in Town, how you do it, because this is crucial. It's how many people are following us on Bands in Town?
We have 10,200. This is for Christafari, because we have one too also for Avion Blackman.
So we do this. And so when we send out those 18,000 emails, we also send this out. So and this is crucial because anybody who attends any sort of live concerts finds out about this. And people are even doing this to promote virtual concerts as well, correct?
Now they have, for live streams instead of, because no one's doing live shows. So this is the one I sent out just the other day. And this link here is the MailChimp link. So if you link, well, I'll show it to you in my email. When you get it, you can see the whole email without even subscribing to our email list, which I like that too. Yeah.
I get these from UB40 all the time, from Toby Mac, from different artists. I have to click through in order to get them.
Right.
And it really, really helps.
So this is the and this is what they get in return. They'll get a, hey, you have a message from Christafari. You view it here. And sorry, it's thinking. And then here it is here. And then you click it here. And that's the email. And then they can subscribe. They can see past issues.
That's great.
You can even translate here.
That's fantastic.
But on the home page, I like our home. This is the home page for Bands in Town.
And this is Bands in Town is the best.
Yep. So this is all of where you can find us here.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Torie and I are running out of time. Get your questions ready. I'm going to race through the rest of my notes.
Sure. Yeah.
Thankfully, you'll eventually get this on video, so you may want to consider doing an EPK, electronic press kit, if it's for. But I would focus, if it's for an album, I would focus on a music video and launch it at the same time or before the album. I would hire a publicist if you really are serious. That's what every label does. That's what they do. I would do song stories or testimonials about a song. Again, they got to know you, like you, trust you. And those stories and testimonials really, really help. Okay, what sets this album or event apart from others? Emphasize that. Capitalize on that. How do you define success? Ask yourself that right now. I would encourage you to focus on faith and not on what the world defines success. You can promote it on podcasts. Search for Spotify playlists, promote on that. Search for podcasts that are promote it on that. Ask to be interviewed, ask to be featured. You can do a countdown on the album for promotion. But if you do that, take your best artist photo and then just maybe superimpose the number, 3 in front of it. And so it's a good photo and then says only 3 days left until the album releases, pre-save now on Spotify or something like that. You want to give them something besides just the album cover over and over and over again. So at the end of each concert, at the end of each album or each release, take a survey. If not an actual survey, we use, was it SurveyMonkey? We got MailChimp and SurveyMonkey. You will get a survey from us from SurveyMonkey at the end of all this to figure out what worked. Are these classes too long, too short, too many, too few? Translators will say too fast. Take a survey, find out what worked, what didn't work, reevaluate. Otherwise, you will be crazy by doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to get different results. Learn from your successes and be willing to learn from your mistakes. We always do this at the end of each tour. What worked, what didn't? Are we going back here? If so, when? And what will we do differently when we come back? Create merchandise for an album or for an event. Woohoo, she's got the hat. Yep. Merch for an album or an event. But when you do so, make sure somebody who knows what they're doing when it comes to shirt design and graphics and things like that is creating it. And then we always like to come up with 4 or 5 options, and then we take a little survey. You can do it on Instagram story or whatever. You can take a little survey. Which do you like most? And you may be surprised. You may like the hot pink, but everybody else may like the black or the white, or which would you buy? And if you have a click-through at the end of it all to get them to buy it, it's even better. So that's absolutely crucial. You can't do it on your own. if you do, I used to do a lot of this on my own. Self-management, self-booking, self-everything, self-promoting. I would do 3 to maybe 30 shows a year. When if we're doing 150 in a year without quarantine, you can't do it on your own. Assign a team that plays to their strengths. Connor is overseeing right now. Say hi, Connor. Connor has a much better strength than me at details, at technology. Justin is here to help to make sure nothing goes wrong. Say hi, Justin.
Hello.
Justin is my right-hand guy. You need a team. You can't do it on your own. And find out if they're not doing something right. Maybe you need to switch their role to somebody else. We talked about postcards. We talked about text alerts. We talked about email lists, how to grow the email list, Linktree. We talked about Facebook posts, Facebook ads. Spend some money. Don't get a lot, but you need to do it anyways. Facebook top banner. Here's one we didn't talk about. Wikipedia page. For every album, you need to update your wiki page. Google how to do it. Get somebody to help you on Fiverr, Fiverr. We talked about a website banner. You can build a website. We did the Ascend website in how long? Like 24 hours, Connor?
We did the website in probably, about 20 hours of work.
How, and you did it yourself. And what did we use? Squarespace or what was it?
Squarespace.
Squarespace has been great for us, and you went to the Ascend website, so you know how to do it. So doesn't take a webmaster, although I would say that Connor is the master. I'm the master of disaster. Okay, Instagram profile update. So your pick, change that for every album.
Yep.
Ours is probably this cover right now, and it will change to Avion's cover shortly. We mentioned Instagram. We mentioned Twitter. We even mentioned Reverb Nation, taking it back. What about Songkick? Do we use that at all?
Yes, we do use Songkicks.
What is Songkick for?
Songkick is actually the website that allows you to post your concerts to your Spotify page. So if you don't do Songkick, you don't get your concerts on Spotify.
So there you have it. So we we add our concerts to our website. We add them to Reverb Nation so that they go to Facebook, right?
Yes.
We add them to Bands in Town.
Yes.
And we add them to Songkick.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pain in the butt to do all this. Tori. Tori.
Oh.
Proofread everything. True story. I was voice texting our translator yesterday and telling her that it would be easy for her to do something, and the word "for" was translated to another F word.
Oh
for
no!
You was translated to "F you."
Oh.
And I didn't read through it. I skimmed the beginning. I skimmed the end. And she sent it back, highlighting, saying, "My husband is laughing his butt off right now." I was thanking God that I didn't send that to a pastor.
Right.
Guys, proofread everything and make sure you're not doing talk to text without proofreading it. And then have somebody who's even more attentive to detail do that. I would say another thing. You want to show us this Songkick really quick?
Oh, sure.
Songkick really quick. While you do that, I'm gonna tell you one thing, guys. All of this has to do with the story. Okay. Tell a story. Nobody likes advertisements. Make me feel something. Why should I care? What's in it for me? People may say. So focus on that. What is that story? And as much as you can boil it down to as concise of a story as possible. We like to say that the elevator pitch, 30-second pitch, or the 5-second pitch. Can you tell what you're doing, in 5 seconds or 10 seconds? And if you can do that, then it's gonna be easier for you to relay it. You ready to show us something, Tori, or not?
Oh, I've been showing it when you were talking.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Bands in Town is a great one for us. We talked about artist pick on Spotify. If you're launching an album or promoting an album, CDs. You still need physical CDs one way or another. There are other clever things that you can do. Bob Marley's Rastaman Vibration initially came in a burlap sack. David Crowder, with one of his albums, was sent off to famous artists with a cassette player and a cassette tape. And those artists, of course, posted that. They got an advance copy. Whatever you can do to make people, engaged. People talk, people share. If you can get tastemakers, people that are influencers to share, it's even better. So that's crucial. Lyric videos are crucial. I mentioned radio liners. Hey, this is Mark Mohr from Christafari. Check out this new song from our Musicianaries album. This station rules a nation with version. And anytime I'm in the town or in your country, there's only one station for me. Run the track. Can't tell you how many times I've done that and how many times people have played that on their station. And you mention the album, but you don't mention the station. You say this station or this show or this DJ. And then beyond that, you may want to hire a radio promoter. Whew. We haven't had good success with that. We may do that with You Say. You never know. But if you, for the concert, ask yourself, what is the top station? What is the top DJ? If you can beg that DJ to do a free intro for you or MC, or pay that DJ to come and mention it from radio, you may get some free promo. So if you got the top DJ announcing and introducing, like in Trinidad and Tobago, for instance, introducing each artist, chances are, at least on the day of the concert, he says, I'm going to be heading over to see Christafari tonight. You should go too. Lastly, we talked about music videos. We use something called Rive Promotions. R-I-V-E. R-I-V-E. And we promote our top videos that we think are going to go further. Cost us about $1,000, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on what I can negotiate. So we do that, and that gets us in all kinds of video pools, that gets us in all kinds of stations, that gets us featured all over, and sometimes it's the difference between a few million views and a few 100,000 views. Anything you'd like to add before we get to questions there, Tor?
No, I'm good, Mark.
All right. I am sorry this is going long, guys. This is literally a semester worth.
Yeah.
In one class.
Right.
All of these things you can Google how to use Bands in Town, Google how to use Songkick, and these things will change within the next 6 months. I promise you that. Learn to change with them. Jalen Lopez says, how to add songs to appear on Instagram stories and followers can add them to their stories. I believe that you can do that with what is it, a DistroKid?
Yep. And with stories, yep. So anything that's on Apple or on Spotify, you can add it to your story. Some of them have lyrics, some of them don't.
Yeah. So when I click on right now on, let me see here, Instagram and Facebook. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen just because I want you guys to see this. This is what I was talking about earlier. Share screen, and here we go. Instagram and Facebook, we've got right here, it says this, extra, optional, but awesome. If I click on that when I'm adding something, add this single to Instagram's music in stories, etc. So it's for both. So that way, like if you've noticed with Waymaker, for instance, every once in a while, somebody will post a story and it'll have the lyrics, Waymaker, Miracle Worker, whatever, and it'll have our song. I think they get those lyrics from when we submit the song on distro, and I know that they get it because we put it up on distro. Anything you'd like to add there before we move on?
No, that's good.
Rebecca Fuentes, one of my favorite Trinidadians
Hi.
that doesn't have the last name Blackman. Sorry, I just got to be prioritized with the Blackmans. Otherwise, I'm going to have a big, massive crew chasing me down. Rebecca, we love you so much. She says, do you guys join other award institutions other than the Marlin Awards? Did you approach Dove, Stellar, etc.? I know this is not your main focus for awards, etc., but I'm just curious because you guys are awesome. And I know I've been a groupie since day one in Trinidad. Justin, go and get me TP from the bathroom, please, and grab a few awards here. Okay, so let me tell you something about this.
Oh, no.
I've done award shows over the year. I've done the Marlins. I'm gonna be frank, guys. We had to pay money to get out there. We had to pay for a hotel. We had to pay for everything. Then you have to pay for advertising or promotion if you want to be a part of something. And then all these artists are fighting tooth and nail to try and get on a stage. It's a whole bunch of people saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. Nobody, and nobody is in the audience saying, I'm looking to book a tour. Which one of these should I have? Nobody's doing that. And so what I found when it comes to these awards, do you find them or not? We kind of put them away somewhere. Oh, you got one there? There's one. Okay, this is perfect. Woohoo! Album of the year, baby. We got it. And this is what it's good for right here. This is what it's good for. Album of the year. Put it right there. If you need 2 rolls, you can go that. You can double it. Where did I get that idea? Thanks, bro. Well, I've got a bunch more here. They're good paperweights. I'm not trying to sound disrespectful, guys, to anybody but you know that some of the artists who won those awards, when they were handed the award at some of those award shows, when they walked off stage, they're like, let me get the award back. This one's just a prop. Right. And some of the awards we won, we didn't even get. Or the company would say, oh, you're going to have to pay for us to manufacture the award and then pay for us to ship it to you. Like, are you serious? So what are you paying? As I've attended all these things, I think they're good for networking, and maybe good for meeting other artists and possibly doing things with other artists. But I stopped doing that. I stopped focusing on that. I remember when Rich Mullins won a Lifetime Achievement Award, and he went up on stage at the Dove Awards. By the way, we were nominated for a Dove Award. And he said, Jesus doesn't care about this. He said, it's not about you. It's not about awards. And who am I to say that I deserve this and somebody else doesn't? So I think we should be lifting up each other, promoting each other, helping each other, promoting the gospel. As I said in the very first class, music is a mission, not a competition. I think award shows and things like that. Now, if you want to go to a conference, maybe Flava Fest or something, I think that would be a better use. But I would say it's not about that. The awards that matter are the crowns you'll get in heaven for winning a soul. Thanks so much for that question, Rebecca. Sorry to sound a little harsh, but I got that idea when I was recording in Nashville for the very first time. And I walked into the bathroom to take a pee at the studio. And I saw the coveted Dove Award. By the way, the one we didn't get. I saw it on the back of the toilet with a toilet paper roll on top of it. This is the guy who won for Jesus Freak Production, for producing all these top artists. He produced and wrote for Michael W. Smith. I said, what in the world? The Dove's wing is holding a piece of a roll of toilet paper. He's like, that's what they're worth. Nobody cares about them, and you shouldn't either. And I love that. Can we get a copy of the one sheet for download, please? Tori, could you please, while I'm talking, upload that one sheet to Mediafire and then send everybody the Mediafire link. You're going to have to grab it quick in the chat. Okay, Tori will do that. Okay, that's Jeff Nayers. We will take care of that in just a minute. Tim Lenard, Ja Pickney. How can an artist with a smaller audience get larger artists to agree to do a concert or combination track if they are only looking to do so with larger artists as well? That's a tough one, man. You know, it happens from time to time. There's an artist that I love in Australia, and he is just the sweetest guy, the sweetest spirit, the sweetest everything. And he's like, hey, Mark, I've got this song. I'd love to play it for you, mate. And he plays it. I'm like, that is such a good song. He's like, I want to give it to you. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yes. If you can do anything with it, you do more than me. And of course, I just went from a Australian accent to a Brixton accent. Sorry, but I'm like, I can't do that. But then, as we were going to Vanuatu, I find out that the guy's playing the same concert as us. He saw our schedule. He paid for himself to get out there, and paid for everything, using his vacation time just so that he could open up for us. We stayed at the same place. We hung out. So guess what we ended up doing? We took his song, we recorded it, we got him on it, and said that I'll be on it later. So I've done that with one or two other artists, but it's been because it's been, if they're really small, like artists that few people know, it's been because it's been the strongest song that has come our way in a long time. So the strength of the song for me, it surpasses the always trying to reach up. And for us, it's just trying to reach as many as we can. We have literally thousands of artists saying, can you do something with me? And every one of them we're great friends with and we love. In Hawaii alone, we've got at least 15. And so it's not a favoritism game. If it's a super uber duper strong song, that's a great way. And if it's somebody who's willing to serve, it's a great thing as well. If they're willing to do it as a way to promote the gospel and not themselves, that's huge. Do you give everything away for free? Yes, we do. And we do so because I believe Jesus would have done the same.
Yeah.
There are certain things that cost money for us, like manufacturing a t-shirt. And at a concert, though we do throw quite a few out, we have a cost for that. CDs do cost physically, so we're giving away Avion's album for free. Anybody who donates, we would love to give you an advance copy of Avion Blackman's Fly. If you donate today, you'll get immediately you get the advance copy of that. After that, it will be available on all streaming services. The amount that artists get are a fraction of a cent for every stream, like less than a cent, much less than a cent. It doesn't become a lot unless you sell millions, and we just don't. But we don't do this for that. We do these so that we can get a platform to preach the gospel so that we can reach as many as possible.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of rhymed. Okay,
Yeah.
Tell us about the barcode at the bottom of the one sheet. I think that it's probably the barcode for the album itself. And I believe that what we do with DistroKid is, let me see if I can't screen share here.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to screen share for a sec, and then you can screen
Okay.
share. Yeah, that's the barcode for the album. And there's two other things that I do want to share. These are such good questions, guys. Okay, I'm going to screen share, cancel. Okay, let me do this. Are you seeing my screen now?
Yep.
Okay, so on DistroKid, if I were to go back to my music and to an album, so once I've put up an album, like Avion Blackman's Fly, which you'll get for free by donating today, you can see right here, this is the UPC in the upper right corner. Okay, so that then gets sent over to our guy, and he adds it right there at the bottom. And honestly, I don't think that we're going to be doing any more scanning because we just don't, there's no physical stores besides Amazon. We are selling our albums in right now. So once we do that, though, we then have the ability to scan that, and that's the crucial thing. Anything you'd like to add regarding barcode stuff?
No, thank you.
All right, so that's a crucial thing. Can you elaborate on tell a story versus an ad?
Yeah.
Okay. Last time I was at, okay, here we go. Last time I was at Light at the Lighthouse Festival in San Pedro, California, I saw this guy, and he was talking. He was in a wheelchair. He was shouting at me. He had really short, all white hair. And I was like, what is this guy shouting at me for? I walked over to him. He's my age. He's now had like 3 heart attacks, a stroke or 2. Been told by the doctor that he should be dead. He still uses crystal meth. He started using crystal meth same exact day as I did. He is where I would be if I didn't give my life to Jesus. He's my ghost of Christmas future, if you will. And when we were up on stage at Light at the Lighthouse, I remember giving the gospel and praying that he would raise his hand, and he did. I gave him a shirt, a CD, a this, a that, a hug. We took a selfie. But none of that stuff matters. What matters is the hand being raised. And that's why we do Light at the Lighthouse Festival every single year, whether it's physical or virtual. Reminds me another year earlier when we did Light at the Lighthouse. I preached the gospel from stage. We saw about 250 people raise their hands. And then as we were packing up, as the festival was over, it was just getting dark. A person has a heart attack in the parking lot. We don't know if they made it or not, if they died, but I have no regrets because I preached the gospel, and you never know. So that's why I want to invite you to come this year to this event, and bring your friends who need to know Jesus, because you need to know where they're going. You see what I just did? I just turned 2 stories into an invitation, not an ad. It's that kind of a personal invite. Okay. Are you still making physical CDs? Yes. We only sell them at our shows or on Amazon. But who knows how much longer we'll be doing that. And to the last question, how do you feel about Bandcamp? Or is it like MySpace? I think I ask, since you still recommend Reverb Nation. We recommend Reverb Nation. Why? Because it connects directly with Facebook, right?
Facebook, yes.
Like no other app that we know. So why do we recommend Bandcamp?
So we don't use Bandcamp, we use Bands in Town.
Bands in Town. So yeah. No Bandcamp for us that we know of. But if you find there are different platforms that do different things, just keep learning, keep growing. But it all comes down to one thing. Who are you doing this for? Why are you doing this? How do you define success? As for Christafari, we define success as even one soul being saved. Not an award that you put toilet paper on, but one soul being saved. And nobody works harder at making this happen than Torie Hoopii. She was also saved from meth X amount of years ago. She was arrested time and time again. She was down and out. She was on a dead-end street, and she said, I've decided to follow Jesus, no turning back. She's been sober ever since. She showed up at a Christafari concert and said, can I volunteer? She followed us from concert to concert and volunteered for free, and each time I gave her more and more. But right now, this is the time of less and less, as some of her supporters are being hard hit by the pandemic. Hawaii has the strictest of all of our states. They're not letting anybody come in unless they're quarantined for 14 days and no tourism whatsoever. So these supporters who were helping her monthly to be able to do Christafari work for free cannot support her right now. But you can. I know you can. Even if it's for $1, $5, $10, whatever. Help fund her so that she cannot be looking at her wallet that's empty or her bank account and all the expenses, but she can be focusing on how she can help us reach the lost at any cost, and how she can be pouring into not just Christafari, but you. So to do so, you can go to Christafari.com/donate. Last time I made a pitch for this, one person helped, and we're so grateful for you, Jamie, for doing that. But I'm praying that more help this time. So you can do that right now, Christafari.com/donate. And our biggest prayer for all 84 of you that are watching is that you would consider doing so monthly, as often as you can, because we're going to continue to do work for the Lord monthly. And stay tuned for future classes next week. We have, quite a few classes left. Anybody else want to give a quick pitch on those as we close it out, guys?
We still have classes tomorrow. We have Nick Cedillo doing brass and woodwinds at 3 p.m. and Mark will be back up here doing a sermon writing class at 5 p.m.
Sermon
So,
writing.
Thank you, translators, moderators, and attendees for sticking around and all the help. And yeah,
Love you
great
guys.
job, everyone.
Thank you so
Thanks,
very,
Mark.
very much. Go with
Thanks
God.
for tuning in. Aloha.